You see ads everywhere on TV, on Instagram, even on this very YouTube video. But have you ever wondered who's actually behind them? Well, in today's video, I'm gonna share with you what I actually do as a media buyer. And I've personally been in this space for the last 7 to 8 years. And I've done freelancing for a little bit. I've worked at agencies, and now I've moved to working in-house within the financial services industry for companies like Allstate. So you can say I've done a little bit of everything. So by the end of this video, you'll know how to get started if you're looking to become a media buyer, what qualifications or certifications you might need to be a media buyer. I'm gonna share some overall growth tips to help you out. And just in general, just some good tips and tricks and things that I've learned over the last 7 to 8 years, just being in this space. Okay, so before we dive into the video, I do want to clarify what a media buyer is, just in case you're like, hey man, I'm not really sure what a media buyer is, right? And so all a media buyer is the person that places an ad on a particular platform. So companies will hire a media buyer like me to make sure their ad shows up on Instagram or shows up on YouTube. That's it. It's very, very simple. Okay, so now I want to share with you how I actually got started into media buying. So about 7 to 8 years ago, I had this really bright idea to start a clothing brand. Now, truthfully, this brand was terrible. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no design skills, no nothing, no business skills, nothing. But I thought this was a great idea at the time, okay? Don't judge me. And I really wanted to figure out a way to market it. I knew that I needed traffic, but I didn't have a lot of marketing skills. But also at this time, drop shipping was really, really big. And I feel like every single drop shipper at the time was running Facebook ads, and they were telling people like, hey, this is how I'm driving this much traffic. You need to be running Facebook ads. So I was like, yo, you only got to tell me once. Let me figure out what this Facebook ads thing is, right? And so I started looking up every YouTube video I could. I took some Facebook ad courses. I went on Facebook's website and tried to look up their study guides. Like, I consumed all the content that I could, and I decided to launch my own ads. Now, I was only spending, $5 to $10 a day, nothing crazy, but this really opened the doors for me to start running ads for other people. Now, truthfully, my Facebook ads never really worked for my clothing brand, but it wasn't because Facebook ads didn't work. I just had a terrible product, but I learned a lot through running my own ads for my clothing brand. And I started helping other people with their ads as well as a freelancer. And that really kicked off my journey into being a media buyer and starting to learn Google ads and other different ad platforms. But that's how I personally got started. Okay, so now I want to share with you what I actually do as a media buyer. And truthfully, you can break up my task really into 3 phases. There's an onboarding phase, there's an in progress phase, and there is a wrap up phase, okay? And I'm gonna go over each phase for you. So in the onboarding phase, you're either onboarding a client, right? If you work for an agency, or if you work in-house for a brand, you're just onboarding a new product or a new campaign. Okay, but essentially all onboarding phases is the same. You're trying to figure out what is the overall objective of the campaign. Like, what is the client or company trying to achieve? Are they trying to get sales? Are they trying to get leads? Or they're just trying to do brand awareness? You're just trying to figure out what they want from you, okay? And then once you figure out what they want for you, typically they have a budget in mind, okay? So that's pretty explanatory. And then from there, you try to figure out with their budget, what platform they should be on. You try to ask them questions about their ideal target audience, who they're going after, etc., etc. So this is really the plan and putting everything together. So that's typically the onboarding phase. before you actually launch the campaign. And then in the in progress phase, this is where you already launched the campaign and you're really just monitoring it. And this is honestly my favorite phase as a media buyer because there's not a whole lot of work to do here, especially if the campaign is performing, right? Now, if the campaign isn't performing, then you may have to change up your creative, or you may have to, figure out some things to get the ads to work. But if the ads are working, then you might make small tweaks here and there, but you're pretty much coasting in the in progress phase. And the last phase is the wrap up phase. This is normally when you do your reporting. This is when you let your client or the company know, or product managers know, like, hey, this is the performance of the campaign. These are the results. You typically have a end call with the client or product managers to let them know, essentially like, hey, this is how the campaign performed. This is the wrap up phase. So typically on a day-to-day, I'm in one of these three phases with multiple clients or multiple product owners, and it just depends on the day or the season. Okay, so now I'm gonna cover what qualifications or certifications I think that you'll need to become a media buyer. Now, for me personally, I do have a master's degree in internet marketing from Full Sail University. And that really, really helps. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it is not needed at all, okay? And I personally don't hold any certifications currently. I pretty much was able to get a job based off my experience and having a master's degree. But again, a master's degree is not needed. You will probably need at least a 4-year degree in something like business or marketing. Anything within that realm, right, will be helpful. So that's pretty much it. Now, I will say, if you want to stand out, definitely get all the certifications that you can, especially the free ones. So Google has a lot of free certifications for media buyers. So definitely get all your Google certifications. They're all pretty much free. I think I'll link it up here somewhere or in the description down below. You definitely want to get your Facebook ad certifications if you can. I think they run like $250 or more to get Facebook certified, but you definitely want to do that. I think TikTok now has a certification that they just came out with. So definitely go to each platform and try to get as many certifications that you can. This just shows employers that you know what you're doing, and these companies have certified you. So definitely do that. But outside of that, those are really all the qualifications that you need, okay? But I will say, if you're thinking about landing a job, the easiest jobs to get is working for an agency, okay? My first job after freelancing was at an agencies. Agencies have really, really high turnover rate, so it's very easy to work for a social media agency or, any agency that's out there. They are gonna give you a shot. And they typically give a lot of kids straight out of college, jobs without any experience, just a degree. So if you're struggling to enter into the digital marketing or media buyer field, agency is definitely where I would recommend you look at first. Because if you're trying to work for a company, it's a lot harder to get. And even if the years of experience is low, or says it's low on the job posting, typically people that get that role have much more than the minimum qualifications to get that role. Always keep that in mind as well. Now, the one thing I love about media buying is the overall career growth. The sky is honestly endless, right? If you want to do your own thing and run an agency, you can definitely run a 7-figure agency off the skill set of media buying. Or if you want to climb the corporate ladder, you can do that as well. Now, I will say, as you start to climb, the corporate ladder, or even start to build out your agency, you become less of a media buyer and more of a media planner. And you're really more high level and you're more strategic in your day-to-day tasks. You're really trying to figure out, where's the best place to spend the money, what platforms are going to give you the best return on investment, etc. it's more strategic and you're not really hands-on keyboard, as they call it. You're not really physically doing the work. You're really just a very high paid strategist at this point, right? But overall, media buying can be a really, really great career path, no matter if you want to, do this for yourself or you want to go the corporate route. Now, if there's any questions that I failed to answer, make sure that you comment them down below. I try to answer every single question that I get. And if you're interested in learning Facebook ads, I would definitely check out this tutorial right here.